Hi, I'm Robert Borton, CEO of Classical Conversations, the world's largest classical Christian homeschooling community. I'm launching a new podcast, Refining Rhetoric. If you like cross-politics or just listen to hear what crazy stuff they're saying today, you will enjoy Refining Rhetoric. You can find us on your favorite podcast platform. I practice the 15 tools of learning by interviewing great guests, looking at current events, and talking about cryptocurrency.
It is the duty of the free man to resist tyranny at every turn. Every man will either watch his freedom stripped away or take action to protect what he loves. Introducing the A3, the newest revolutionary body armor from Armored Republic. The A3 is the new standard for lightweight multi-hit body armor. A3 plates are incredibly light at 4.6 pounds. The patented design captures fragmentation while remaining multi-hit capable. The A3 will stop up to M80 ball, yet comes in at only 0.7 inches thick. The A3 is the thinnest NIJ .06 compliant or certified composite standalone plate that includes the drop test. The A3 is the first of its kind, patent pending, that combines an alloy strike face with polyethylene backing, revolutionizing body armor technology by providing strength and durability while remaining sleek and maneuverable. The A3 is the new standard in lightweight body armor. The fight against tyranny just got stronger.
What's she saying?
He shall feed his flock. That's the song.
That's funny. I was just thinking someone should write a book on how to destroy a country in 10 steps. That's what was going on in this noggin.
What did that have to do with the song?
It was actually with our conversation before the song started, but welcome to Waterboy's World. Hey y'all, welcome to
I'm
Cross
scared
Politics.
to ask.
Advent week 1, done. Is it week 1.5? I mean, kind of.
Yeah, it's close to 2.
It's actually almost 2 now.
Yeah, all right,
Yeah.
2. All right, that's how. Again, welcome to Gabe's Noggin. All right.
Oh boy,
Yeah.
let's get out of here quickly. I want to get out. I want out.
It's Friday. It's Friday. Pastor Toby, Chuck
Friday.
Knox, and I'm the Water Boy.
And you poured me some eggnog, did you?
Man, it was.
Do you have some more?
That was so good. This is just my favorite.
All
eggnog.
right.
With ice too. It's crazy that you actually put ice in it. And
It's crazy.
Yeah, it's so good.
It's
Yeah.
Christmas. So you should join our club. During December, the first 75 people to upgrade or join our gold or platinum club membership will get our 32-ounce Kodiak Christmas water bottle.
That's right.
And free subscription to our Fight Laugh Feast. It's in Christmas red.
These are nice too.
I know. I've been using mine.
I have two, and I have a bunch of these. But I love them.
I'm very well hydrated. Like this is so great.
Better than ever.
I like drinking water.
Does joy come locked in here that we don't know about? We've been packing these with joy because when I drink, I'm joyful.
It's that really slick engraving.
That's
I
great.
took this home and all my kids were like, "Oh,
I know.
Dad,
I almost had to fight my son over this.
Where'd you get that?
Hey, you told him you got to join the club. You got to be like the gold or platinum.
It's like gold or platinum, buddy.
Do you,
What happened?
Gabe, when you hit the table, you
Wow.
start controlling my board
That's
over here.
crazy.
Yeah, stop it.
All right, I'm just saying.
Stop it. I got a computer.
Anyways,
voice.
by joining the Fight Laugh Feast Army, not only will you be aiding in our fight to take down secular and legacy media, you also get access to content placed in our club portal, such as past shows, all our conference talks, and exclusive content for club members that you won't be able to find
That's great.
anywhere else. Lastly, you also always get discounts at our conferences. We don't have the big money of woke media, and so our club members are crucial
Yes.
for this fight. So as you remember the gift of Christmas, why not give to the world by subscribing to Fight Laugh Feast? So join the movement, join our army, and you can sign up now at fightlaughfeast.com.
That just got real. The way Toby.
Yeah, I know.
The way Toby's already
Changed the world.
All right, so Brittany Griner. We talked about it yesterday on the
She's
show a
in
little bit.
American custody right now. That's right.
She's on American soil, I think, by now.
Yeah.
And then you got Whelan, who was the military veteran that was left in prison.
Right.
Over there. Apparently,
Because Biden said they tried. They were gonna do. They would just. haven't been able to.
yeah,
do it
but
yet.
apparently, I sent you guys the article where NBC had edited their own report on this. Originally, NBC had reported that it was a choice between Griner or Whelan, and the Biden administration chose Griner.
You think that's true?
It was edited, and it's in the Wayback Files that NBC edited the article. So,
oh man,
Well,
maybe it was a typo. But
that's not enough information for me to feel like that was.
Anyways, neither here nor there. I agree with you.
It's kind of a bad mistake to make, though.
It is. Yeah.
You mean our media is, I don't know, not keeping us informed the way they should?
Yeah, we'll get there with Twitter. We'll get there with Twitter.
Okay.
But here's what's crazy to me is how much was it a Russian TV news political pundits?
Yeah.
They understand. They get America's woke culture better than we even understand the chips that are on the table and how they're played. Listen to this.
First, I was very amused, but not surprised, that Boot was exchanged for Griner and not Whelan. He only has one, no two, no three problems. His first problem is that he is white. His second problem is he is a man. His third problem is he is a heterosexual. This is not something that can be forgiven today. It's just a catastrophe. Yes, here Griner beats him in every aspect. American voters were given a choice. A hero who suffered while serving his fatherland. A medal-covered hero who suffered during his service to his fatherland, the United States. Or a black lesbian hooked on drugs who suffered for a vape with hashish and well known for the sake of PR. American voters are choosing the obvious. I think that for us, it's one more piece of good news. The first good news is that Boot has returned. And the second good news is that a nation that spits on its heroes to the extent that it considers it significantly more important to free a rightfully charged, well-known athlete. She didn't suffer because she served her motherland, but because she couldn't live for 10 hours without hashish. Instead of freeing the person in prison for 2 years for serving his motherland. This says a lot about the state of this society, of these intelligence agencies, and everything related to geopolitical confrontation.
Oh my goodness.
That's hard to listen to. That's hard to hear. But she ain't wrong. This was a woke calculation. This was that ESG score for political prisoner swap.
I mean, she's
Right?
also assuming that they had an option.
She's assuming they had an option.
She's assuming that they could have traded.
Well,
I guarantee they had an option.
Boot for winner.
She's making the comparison either or, right? She's making the either or, not both and.
I know, but that's what I'm saying though. But like, it's on the table. Like she's assuming there was an option
That America could have taken Whelan instead of Griner.
Yeah,
That's what Toby's saying.
Yeah, I mean that's what she's assuming. I'm not saying she's right, but she's saying at least she's agreeing with the optics.
Yeah. And since it is like a Kremlin-controlled news network, she probably knows better than most people. You got to remember,
their news, the inside scoop.
Their news over there is controlled by
it's Putin run. It's Putin run.
So I wouldn't
just
be
like our news.
And we think we're better. Yeah, but we're capitalistic.
Hey, everybody
news.
but Tucker Carlson.
NBC's like they decided to pick, never mind.
There is something though that I think is important here. She's making a comparison between Whelan and Griner.
Yep.
And she's saying that not picking Whelan. Okay, now she's nailing who we are and how we're operating. She's getting that part right.
Yeah.
But let's just say for a second that we actually had a different perspective on this, and America picked Griner because she's a woman.
Yep.
And we care about
protect
women.
Our women.
We treat. She still would have said the exact same thing.
Sure.
And so my point is, the things that they think that make us weak because we don't do what they want us to do are not the things that make us weak, and we should be very mindful of this. It's those kind of things. Now she's still getting us right.
Yeah.
But they would have said the same thing.
Yeah.
But the reason why we would have picked it, those are the things that make us strong. So even if we didn't pick our war hero because they think he's a spy, by the way. They're convinced in every way that he's a spy.
Yep.
Our American government hasn't said that yet. We don't currently have the ability to know. But whatever the case is, I hope we would always pick the women and children first, right? And we shouldn't be disappointed about that. We should look at that and say, because we know what people are worth and the value of a woman, we are going to always prize them, and we will always suffer for our women.
Amen.
And so that they think though that
I agree with that, and that's a really good point to point out, and the fact that they would accuse us of the same thing anyway. The only thing I would just throw out there though is I don't know the whole situation. It seems like they're being petty, using her as a pawn. That's what it seems like in this situation.
They're absolutely doing that.
The only one exception I would throw out there is at the same time, if there is a woman who's committing crimes and getting taken in, there is a difference between a criminal and a war hero who's being taken on because he's been faithful to his country.
Yeah.
And I think that would have to be taken into consideration.
Sure. But wait, hold on. No, we've even went after people in America who were committing crimes. Remember the guy over there in Singapore who was spray painting vehicles?
No.
There was a guy, a big thing in the late 90s.
Was it an American?
It was an American man. He was spray painting vehicles over in Singapore, and they were going to cane him publicly. And they were going to publicly...
They should have.
Well, that was the
vandalizing.
argument. That was the argument at the time. I'm just saying, look, I have no problem for American citizens paying for the crimes that they've committed. But when you're at a nation that is so unjust, what they're talking about doing here, this wasn't about Brittany Griner or her having a certain amount of hash. This is a play to them run on the social justice issue on us. Right. So there wasn't really, a crime here. 0.7% of what was in 0.7% is what was in her vape.
It was
that she actually
THC in her vape. It wasn't even like it wasn't like full marijuana.
Exactly. What they did was atrocious in any kind of sense of the way, right? To try to give, and then she forgot about it. I've come to find out she didn't. She actually had legal reason to have it, but she didn't have it approved. So that was a difference from what I understand.
Right. Yeah, because Russia recognizes our medical paperwork.
My point is to talk about how they view women.
Right.
Yeah.
And then how they view their heroes who have contributed to the country. Our heroes is to kind of say, get the women out of here.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
And so they have a different mindset. So they while I understand they nailed us, what the problem to me is that somebody who has a low view of women and people nailed us so well.
Yeah.
That's the part that's like, dang it. And so it's so unsanitized, this situation. And you need a lot of wisdom to work through what's going on here and to think through these things, because it's like, man, they got us and they know exactly what they're doing. And unintentionally, the Biden administration and this whole woke culture has put people and minorities at major risk when they go to other countries now.
Yep, that's true.
Well, that's good.
That's true.
Because they know
the currency.
The currency.
Yep.
Now
the intersectional currency that'll get them their money from the U.S.
This is what I call cleaning with poopy water. I talk about this quite often, but I'm going to say, they think they're helping, right?
Yep.
And they're not. Now everybody, you think I'm going to go to Africa?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
No.
No, I'm not going. I'm not leaving.
Not going to Russia.
I barely want to go to Mexico. You see, because now they put a target, a high profile target, and high value target on all the minorities. Go, oh, we know we're going to get this because the only value and currency they love is virtue.
Minorities.
Woke currency. Yep.
Yeah. And so now they've made it worse for us internationally.
Okay, so speaking of spies, FBI apparently had a plant working for Twitter.
Oh.
Uh-huh. Yeah. And
why? They would have given them everything they wanted anyway.
I know.
Didn't have to go that far.
You just gotta, build assurance there, So this last week on Wednesday? It was on Wednesday or Thursday. Twitter released another Twitter files, they've been calling them. So Twitter files number 2.
I thought it was yesterday, wasn't it?
It came from yesterday. Then. This week has been very long.
Yeah, this is week 7 of Advent.
Yeah. Apparently so. Apparently so.
A little behind.
Is it Tuesday still?
It's almost Easter.
Yeah, for real. And so this time Barry Wise got to sort through the second section of the Twitter files, and she actually also started a the freepress.com website.
Okay.
Walter Kern's writing for it. A number of people that we know are writing for it.
I followed him on Twitter.
Yeah, I followed him on Twitter, and they're obviously responding to the AP, American Press, the AP.
Okay.
And it's FP, Free Press.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so here's what's been interesting about the whole Elon Musk thing for me before you go on any further game is, watching Elon Musk buy Twitter and then start digging inside of these Twitter's files in this back room wherever they got all this stuff hidden. Yep. Then find an FBI agent in there going through all the stuff.
Fired the agent
or ex FBI agent who was working at Twitter. We don't know what the relationship currently was between him and the FBI yet. That's still to be worked out. But
no, let's say what it was.
Let's
just say it.
So, but what's been interesting though is watch how he's come to try and restore this. And I don't think it's how he's doing it is as important as what he's doing.
Yeah.
I think what he is trying to do is establish a new or restore the fourth estate, the media and the press. And what he's doing is using Twitter as the process to do it. Yep. We know that all of our platforms of news have failed us, from the conservative to the liberal. They're all biased in every way. Now, I'm not saying nobody has any bias, but they're particularly biased that they don't help us sort through information well.
Right.
And so he's taken Twitter, in particular journalists that were kicked off of Twitter, and he's taken this information. He's not just posted it himself. No. He's giving it to journalists, he's making a new form of journalism of people who are trying to recenter around the truth. And he's saying, guys, these are the new people to trust. Right. These are the new prophets. Listen to these guys. And they're dispersing this information. Yep. And so now you go from...
That's really good, Knox, because Barry Weiss, she left or was fired. Was she canned, or was forced out of the New York Times?
Yeah. Come on. You know she's not going to be there. Yeah.
But it was, so she in particular is a high profile person who is actually, I'm kind of on the left side of the spectrum.
Yes, she is.
It's kind of got red pilled a little bit.
But wasn't as extreme, and was willing to actually say some truth, some unpopular truths out there, and was canned, driven out, canceled, basically. That's really good.
And so he's bringing those people in to say, this is the new press. This is the new free speech. This is the new place now. And so they're going to other journalists and saying, listen, you can have the information. It's free for you. Just drop it on the platform.
Right.
So we're not just getting, this is what happened in Twitter. We're reestablishing the fourth estate. Yeah. And it's amazing to watch Musk do this. And I don't know if everybody's paying attention to what's happening. They're so excited over the information. Guys, he's reestablishing the center. And to miss that is to say, okay, well then it's a little scary, because these are going to be the new people who are going to be, and you're like, we're the Christians in this. I wish we were. How do we get in control of some of this so we can write in some of these stories as well? But it's really amazing to watch what he's doing.
Yeah. Okay. So in 2021, I believe, Jack Dorsey, when he was CEO of Twitter, he went before Congress to testify, because Congress was kind of concerned about Twitter. What's going on? Are you guys shadow banning? Are you involved in politicizing elections? What's your algorithm doing to our cultural process? And here's what Jack Dorsey literally testified in front of Congress.
Are you censoring people?
No.
Twitter shadow banning prominent Republicans is bad. Is that true?
No.
Wait, but he was... Okay.
And he went on to answer more notes to more things.
Yeah.
Here.
Shadow banning? No.
But apparently...
Manipulating algorithms?
No.
Doing anything? Put your finger on the scale?
I was trying to defend him earlier, but he knew that they were at least... censoring people. No matter whatever you call it, you knew you were censoring people. That's what you have to do in order to have you're controlling your space.
No.
That was disingenuous, I think.
So,
absolutely.
So Barry Wise, in the second Twitter file, Kraken drop, she said in the first week, she said, and the investigation reveals that teams of Twitter employees build blacklists, prevent disfavored tweets from trending, and actively limited the visibility of entire accounts or even trending topics, all in secret without informing users. I'm almost 100% sure I'm on this list. I know Charlie Kirk. Find out Charlie Kirk is on this list.
Okay.
What?
You're not that important.
I know. I'm not saying I'm important, but I'm just saying I'm like the little guy on the list. All right.
No, I know you want to make the list. Maybe next year.
And then Twitter once had a mission. She says to give everyone the power to create and share ideas and so forth. And then she says, take for example. So she starts getting into examples.
Yeah.
Our boy, Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, who argued that COVID lockdowns would harm children. Twitter secretly placed him on a trends blacklist, which prevented his tweets from twinning. That's incredible. That's awesome. Amazing. Yeah, that's real. And then she has a picture apparently of inside. If you log in as a Twitter employee, or
you can see the back profile.
You can see the back profile of Dr. Jay Bhattacharya, and it says that he has a recent abuse strike. He's on the trends blacklist. He doesn't have any strike counts yet, but they have the strike count feature up already on him. And then you can consider Dan Bongino. He was slapped with notification spikes, so his notifications won't spike. Search blacklist. So you search for Dan Bongino on Twitter, you can't find him.
Yeah.
Twitter blue verified, multiple accounts, strike content. He was even labeled not sufficient for work.
Yeah.
NSFW. Not sufficient for work.
Yeah.
Same for Twitters of TikTok. Liberals of TikTok. Unbelievable.
Libs of TikTok.
Incredible. Charlie Kirk, not sufficient for work. And it was pointed out, a user pointed this out earlier or after this thread had dropped that, while Twitter was not doing anything about child pornography, they're banning Dr. Jay Bhattacharya.
Right.
they're banning,
Right.
they're shadow banning Dan Bongino.
I'm not surprised by that, though.
I'm not surprised by it either.
But
and
go ahead.
Elon, and there's exchange actually between Elon Musk and Jack Dorsey about this.
Okay.
Yeah.
And Elon said, responding to the child pornography problem, that Twitter didn't deal with it sufficiently, he said it's a crime and they refuse to take action on child exploitation for years.
Right.
Jack Dorsey responds and says this is false. Elon responds and says no, it's not. When Ella Irwin,
And then Jack came back and said, yes, it is.
No,
and then Elon was like,
Elon gets
and then
into the
he punched
receipts
him
here.
on Twitter.
When he said, Elon says, when Ella Irwin, who now runs Trust and Safety, those are mine, who now runs Trust and Safety, joined Twitter earlier this year, so this is 2022, she said almost no one was working on child safety. She raised this issue with Ned and Parag. Parag was the former CEO, but they rejected her staffing request. I made it a top priority immediately. And so that's his response. So anyways, Jason Whitlock actually was on Tucker talking about some of the issues surrounding this. He has some good thoughts. Let's roll that clip.
This is deeper than censorship. This is about propaganda and mind control and the control of the American public. Twitter and these social media apps have been rigged to control our minds and what we think. And so I want to be careful because I don't want to unpack too much. It's hard for people to understand. But just think about what Alex Jones has experienced over Sandy Hook and the lawsuits against him and the money they've taken from him. And now I want you to think about what Twitter has done to America for the last 7-8 years with Black Lives Matter. They promoted the myth and the anger and the animus and the emotion that the police were out here randomly killing black people and everybody should be outraged. Everybody should take to the streets. Everybody should burn down cities and communities. People should kill police. So if you're the wife of David Dorn, you should be trying to sue whoever's responsible, Twitter, the Democratic Party, that used this propaganda machine to stir the emotions of the American people and create this myth that the police were out just randomly, indiscriminately killing black people. And what you should do is overthrow this government, go tear down buildings. If your business was destroyed during these riots, these 5-6 year spans, obviously it crescendoed in 2020. But if you lost a loved one, lost your business, you're owed a great debt.
Wow.
Boy.
Wow. So he's not only talking about the suppression of some accounts, which is what we were just talking about. He's talking about the intentional promotion of other accounts. Mm-hmm. That's brainwashing and driving the whole consensus of the country, essentially.
The rape of the American mind.
Wow.
He said there is a price for the rape of the American mind. And I don't, part of the only reason I don't expect that these things are informing me. I want to be a thinking person, so I want to sit above and look at it and examine it. But I don't know if everybody is like that. I think there are people who are like, who just take whatever it's giving and think this is the way the world is operating. And so that's, first of all, is there's a weak people that allow Twitter to control them. So, and we have it. That's what it is.
So, for what it's worth, that's really good. There's another Twitter dump coming right now. It just dropped as we're recording 42 minutes ago. It started Matt Taibbi, or whatever you say his last name.
Yeah.
He's the other journalist.
Yeah.
He's doing a whole thread right now on the removal of Donald Trump from Twitter.
Oh, my goodness.
And this is entitled Part 1, October 2020 to January 6th. I just saw it. It came up on my feed. He's now at post, I don't know.
17 or something.
17, something like that right now. And just talking through the whole discussion and decision to kick Trump off of Twitter right during the January 6th and following aftermath.
Well, I know you want to read something real quick.
No.
So I just want to say this. I don't like playing this particular game, but if this is the game that they're going to play, then what if Trump is responsible for January 6th, then what is Twitter responsible for?
Right.
You know what I mean?
And that's what Whitlock is getting at is like, I mean, okay, if we're gonna hold people responsible for their speech,
right? But I don't like that world.
Yeah. Well, and there is a line, but we have to have a standard.
Yes.
And this is why we need to get back to the Word of God.
Facts.
And if without that, then it's a big tug of war.
That's right.
And
that's 100% right.
And people lose their lives.
Yep.
Not so long ago, the American dream was alive and well. Employees who worked hard were rewarded, and employers looked for people who could do the job, not for people who had the right political views. Redballoon.work is a job site designed to get us back to what made American businesses successful: free speech, hard work, and having fun. If you're a free speech employer who wants to hire employees who focus on their work and not identity politics, then post a job on redballoon.work. If you are an employee who's being censored at work or is being forced to comply with the current zeitgeist, post your resume on redballoon.work and look for a new job. Redballoon.work, the job site where free speech is still alive. Redballoon.work. All right, it's the weekly wrap-up.
Friday wrap-up.
Here we go. On Monday, we heard a preacher telling us that we need politicians that are kingdom-minded, who know that the kingdom is over the Congress, and that kingdom-minded politician was Raphael Warnock. Apparently, the kingdom he was talking about was the kingdom of darkness and death and killing babies. But at least they know that their false religion will directly impact their politics. Maybe Christians could take a few notes from that. Warnock got elected on Tuesday, by the way, beating out Herschel, My Family Isn't in Order Walker. We also talked to another pastor, Toby, German pastor Tobias Riemenschneider.
That's right, in Germany.
About the state of the church in Germany, and we found out that apparently all the Germans have forgotten about fascism. On Tuesday, of all the people, you hope they would remember.
Man, if they forget.
On Tuesday, we talked about how businesses can't do big deals without checking first with Big Brother government.
Yep.
Senator Tom Cotton didn't have any pity for their complaints about liberal policies regulating them to death, since woke companies are asking for woke policies. Also, since woke companies don't seem to have any respect for conservatives, why would conservatives come to their aid when woke government policies strip search their merger deals? Knox thought Cotton's gospel presentation was a little lacking. All law and no gospel. He thought we should confront the woke tyrannies, but present the goodness of free markets at the same time. We also talked to pastors Michael Foster and Dale Partridge about Pastor Story Hour. Pastors reading Bible stories and other wholesome stories at public libraries with all their clothes on. It was a pretty radical move. They went online, filled out a form, and then went to the library and read stories to children.
The Reformation will be televised. I just want to say that.
Yeah. I mean, that was all. That's all they did.
Pretty hard to do.
They just filled out a form and then read children's stories.
Did Kirk hear about that form?
All 50 libraries, apparently.
I don't know, or maybe everybody knows who Kirk is. On Wednesday, Knox told us that he finally watched It's a Wonderful Life, but he still gave a spoiler alert for everyone out there who hasn't seen it. We laughed at him for about 5 minutes.
Oh, man.
But we also remember Pearl Harbor. Faithful, courageous men telling good stories, and it was beer and psalms, so we talked about celebrating Christmas with militant joy from Psalm 98. Yesterday, we talked about the recent prisoner swap with Russia. That's what that says. One merchant of death for another merchant of death. As the Babylon Bee put it, this is the first time in history that a WNBA trade has made the headlines.
Ooh. What's the WNBA?
I don't know. And then we talked to William Wolf about the SCOTUS case, about website designer from Colorado. What's it called? 303 something?
303, yeah.
Anyways, if y'all Baptists are smoking what William Wolf is, you're doing
keep doing
great.
It. Keep
you just
smoking
keep
that.
doing that.
Amen. William's selling it, ain't he?
Yeah, I think so. Look him up. Check him out, although he's got to approve you to be his friend. It has been pointed out a number of times. This is my thought. Okay. It's been pointed out a number of times that conservatism finds itself routinely on the defensive. All we know is apparently what we're against. And so conservatism so often seems to be nothing but a rearguard action, a well-meaning retreat.
Yeah.
But a faithful culture war, one that succeeds, one that takes back and actually occupies the ground of a society, will be one that is driven by a host of rightly ordered loves. We need to fight for what we love,
Amen.
Not fight simply because we hate.
That's right.
Chesterton once said, the true soldier fights not because he hates what is in front of him, but because he loves what is behind him. And that love behind him is of particular places, friendships, families, streets, and smells even. All the good things, all the good things that make life wonderful.
And that quote comes from Christ's life.
Yeah. Christ's
Smells
life.
like
Jesus Christ's life. You know, he lived for us.
Yeah.
He died for us. He loved what was behind him. He knew the joy that was set before him. He knew the pain of the cross that was before him. He was doing it
Oh, you better preach
for the
then.
family
Go
behind
ahead,
him.
Yeah, you gonna preach it?
I just used that quote in my talk in Canada.
Oh, nice.
Praise God.
But I just think, we need, like, you were talking about It's a Wonderful Life.
Yeah.
There's a theme there. And again, I think there's sometimes all we know is like, we're against that.
Yep, that's right.
And then, but it's like Pastor Foster said, go home, you want to change the world? Read your kids a good story tonight.
That's right.
That's right.
What do you love? Frequently, what the liberals are fighting for, they have something they love.
Yeah.
What they love is wicked and evil.
Yeah.
And frequently conservatives are merely defensive and trying to get them to stop teaching CRT or stop teaching gross stuff in
That's
the
right.
schools and stop twerking in the story hours. Like, no, yeah, we need to stop them. But the best defense is actually a good offense. So what do you love? And now stand up for that, build that, defend that. That's the kind of fighting that God's going to bless.
Especially during the time of Christmas.
Amen.
Hey!
If you're single, get married. If you're married, have you some kids. And if you have kids, go baptize them. Until Monday, love God with all your heart, soul, mind, and strength. Love your neighbor as yourself. Go fight, laugh, and feast. This is Cross Politics.
We got some great interviews next week lined up.
Do we?
Yeah, we do.
Who?
While God created the world, the morning stars sang together. After God delivered Israel through the Red Sea, Moses and Miriam led the people in singing. God destroyed Israel's enemies under King Jehoshaphat, while the choir sang. When Jesus was born, the angels sang, and before going to the cross, he sang. God rejoices over us with singing, and one of the only things we know for certain that everyone will be doing in heaven is singing. At New St. Andrews College, we understand that music is not an elective. It is central to our being and identity. We endeavor to train all our students in a joyful and robust musical literacy that will help them shape culture in a Christ-like direction wherever they go. Additionally, we offer the Certificate of Music in conjunction with our bachelor's degree in liberal arts and culture for students who desire extra music training beyond the regular music courses they will take as a part of the core curriculum. In the certificate program, you won't simply appreciate music or listen to it or talk about it. You will do music. You will study it, analyze it, read it, write it, sing it, and play it. You will receive private instruction in your primary instrument, as well as secondary lessons in voice, piano, conducting, and other instruments. You will receive a solid foundation in music theory and analysis. You will study music history, church music, and music pedagogy. And when you graduate, you will leave with the ability to sing, play, understand, and steward music in whatever church or community you plant yourself. I'm Dr. David Erb, and this is the Certificate of Music at New St. Andrews College.